The moment the boot lifted from the pavement, time seemed to tear open. A sharp breath caught in the air, a child's fragile world hanging by a thread, and in that single reckless second, a cruel joke was born that would change many lives forever. No one standing on that quiet street could have guessed that a laugh meant for amusement would collide with loyalty, duty, and a silent promise sworn between a little girl and the German shepherd at her side. Before the story unfolds any further, take a moment right now. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in standing up for those who cannot defend themselves, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. The street was lined with cafes and metal chairs stacked neatly as if the world itself was orderly and safe. The little girl sat in her wheelchair near the edge of the walkway, her legs thin and still, her hands resting on the worn fabric of her shirt. She was young, far too young to understand why her body refused to listen to her mind. But she understood one thing clearly. Beside her sat her German shepherd, steady and alert, a living wall between her and the unpredictability of the world. The dog's fur caught the afternoon light, eyes calm yet vigilant, trained not just by commands but by love, routine, and purpose. Across the street, a group of bikers lounged loudly, leather vests creaking as they moved, laughter echoing in sharp bursts. They were men hardened by years of noise and motion, by engines roaring beneath them and the false invincibility that sometimes followed. One of them noticed the dog first, then the girl. His grin widened, not with warmth, but with that careless cruelty that mistakes power for humor. To him, it was nothing. A joke to tell later. A moment of dominance over something smaller, quieter, unable to protest. As he stepped closer, the German shepherd shifted slightly, positioning itself instinctively between the approaching men and the child. The dog did not bark. It did not lunge. It did what it had been trained to do: observe, assess, protect. The little girl sensed the tension before she understood it, her fingers curling into the armrest of her chair, her eyes wide and searching. The world felt suddenly louder, harsher, as if the air itself was bracing for impact. The kick came fast, sudden, and brutal. A boot swung toward the dog's side, fueled by arrogance and laughter. But what happened next was not chaos, it was precision. The German shepherd absorbed the blow, muscles tensing, paws digging into the ground, body shielding the wheelchair behind it. A low, controlled growl vibrated from deep within its chest, not wild, not angry, but warning. The girl cried out, a sound sharp enough to cut through the laughter, and in that cry was fear, confusion, and heartbreak. People froze. Chairs scraped against stone as heads turned. The biker laughed at first, until he noticed the dog had not retreated. It stood firm, eyes locked on him, stance disciplined, almost professional. There was something unsettling about that stillness, something that suggested this animal was not just a pet. The laughter around him thinned, replaced by murmurs and uneasy glances. The girl leaned forward in her chair, tears streaking down her cheeks, her small hands reaching toward the dog's fur. To her, this was not an animal. This was her legs when her own would not move, her shield when the world felt too big, her courage when fear crept in at night. The German shepherd had been with her through hospitals and therapies, through nights of pain and mornings of quiet determination. It had learned the rhythm of her breathing, the way her body shifted when she was anxious, the subtle signs that told it when she needed help. What the biker did not know, what he could not have imagined in his careless moment, was that this dog was a K9 service dog, trained by professionals, certified, trusted with a life. This dog could open doors, retrieve medicine, sense medical distress before alarms sounded. This dog had saved her more times than anyone could count, not with drama, but with quiet consistency. As the realization began to ripple through the crowd, something shifted. A man from a nearby cafe stood up, his face pale with anger. A woman covered her mouth, shaking her head. Someone called for authorities, their voice trembling. The biker's smile faded as eyes turned on him, not with fear, but with judgment. For the first time, he felt exposed, stripped of the armor his leather vest and loud laughter had given him. The German shepherd finally moved, not forward, but closer to the wheelchair, pressing its body against the girl's knees, grounding her. Its breathing was steady, controlled, a living anchor in the storm. The girl buried her face into its fur, her sobs muffled, her world reduced to the warmth and familiarity beneath her hands. When the authorities arrived, the street felt different, as if it had witnessed something it could not forget. The biker stood stiff, his earlier bravado gone, replaced by confusion and defensiveness. He tried to explain it away as a joke, a misunderstanding, but the words fell flat against the reality of the girl's tears and the dog's disciplined restraint. A joke did not leave bruises. A joke did not make a child tremble. A joke did not test the limits of loyalty and training in a creature sworn to protect without harming. The investigation revealed everything. The dog's certification. The training records. The countless hours spent preparing it to serve, to protect, to respond only when necessary. Witnesses spoke, voices steady but emotional, describing what they had seen. The biker listened, his shoulders slumping with each new detail, the weight of his actions settling in. But this story was not only about punishment. It was about transformation. In the days that followed, the biker could not escape the image of the girl's face, pale and terrified, nor the dog's eyes, unwavering even after pain. Sleep eluded him. The road felt different beneath his tires. The noise of his life suddenly rang hollow. He learned more than he ever intended to about service animals, about invisible disabilities, about the silent battles fought every day by those the world often overlooks. Shame crept in, heavy and uncomfortable, followed by something unexpected, regret. Real regret, the kind that does not seek forgiveness but demands change. Meanwhile, the little girl healed, slowly. The bruise on the dog's side faded, but the memory lingered. Yet the bond between them grew stronger, forged in fear and reaffirmed in safety. The dog returned to its routines, guiding, assisting, watching, never faltering. The girl smiled again, cautiously at first, then with more confidence, her trust intact because her protector had not failed her. Community support poured in. Letters, small gifts, words of encouragement. People who had witnessed the incident checked in, asked how she was doing, learned her name, learned her story. Awareness spread, not through anger, but through education and empathy. Schools invited speakers. Signs appeared reminding people to respect service animals. A ripple of kindness followed a wave of cruelty. Months later, the biker made a choice. He attended a public event focused on disability awareness, not to speak, but to listen. He stood at the back, silent, absorbing stories that mirrored the one he had nearly shattered. He donated, not for recognition, but because it felt necessary. Because once you see clearly, you cannot pretend you are blind. And one quiet afternoon, on a street not unlike the first, paths crossed again. From a distance, the biker saw the little girl and her German shepherd. His heart pounded, but he did not approach. He watched as the dog guided her smoothly along the path, calm and confident. The girl laughed at something unseen, her joy simple and pure. In that moment, he understood the true cost of a joke, and the immeasurable value of restraint, respect, and responsibility. If this story has touched your heart even a little, if it made you feel something deep and real, please take a moment now to like this video, share it, and let us know in the comments. Your engagement helps these stories reach others who need reminders of compassion. Before the ending, we have one special request for you. Please comment below with a single word that describes how this story made you feel. Your words matter, and they help build a community rooted in empathy. The world is full of moments where a single choice can harm or heal, destroy or inspire. On that street, a cruel act collided with unwavering loyalty, and from that collision came awareness, change, and hope. A little girl continued forward, protected by a dog who asked for nothing in return. And somewhere along the road, a man learned that true strength is not found in laughter at another's expense, but in the courage to change after realizing you were wrong.